Hello, you're watching AzTV News. I'm your host, Orhan Gaybov. The population of Azerbaijan has increased to 10,176,811 people, according to the latest census conducted by the State Statistics Committee. The urban population accounts for 54.6% of the total population, while the rural population accounts for 45.4%. In the past 11 months, 103,367 babies were born in the country, including 3,134 twins, 135 triplets, and 4 quadruplets. The deadline for submitting documents for accreditation of organizations intending to conduct an exit poll for the early presidential elections on February 7th is tomorrow. According to the rules of accreditation, the Central Election Commission can conduct an exit poll. Organizations must submit their documents no later than 20 days before voting day. This period in connection with the early presidential elections covers until January 18th. The deadline for updating voter lists for polling stations located in military units, pre-trial detention centers, and penitentiary institutions is also expiring on January 18th. It became clear from investigations that during the occupation, animals like cows and pigs were kept in Agdam Imaret complex. This was stated by Italian international renovator on the restoration of ancient monuments, Alessandro Bianchi. The enemy tried to erase our history with such a vandalism, but Azerbaijan restored all the traces of this vandalism. By the way, the Italian expert will take part in the restoration of the Imaret complex and was dispatched to Agdam.
This is one of the vivid facts that Karabakh belongs to Azerbaijan. Maybe this is the source of the enemy's hatred. This is the trace they are trying to erase.
The monuments and the building, everything has been totally neglected, desecrated, abandoned, damaged, destroyed, and we were called to contribute, to give support for the recovery of the situation, which I stress again is highly important in post-war situation, because this is a big contribution to the recovery of the normality after the war.
It is important because this is our history, identity, and heritage. In fact, the Imaret complex was restored once in 1970, but as a result of the occupation, nothing was left. Now, international experts are working on these archival documents in order to restore the complex without moving a stone and to protect the historical traces. The restoration project is divided into 2 parts.
This is a monument occupied by foreigners for 30 years. But this is a mark of the identity of Azerbaijani people. This is why this restoration is so important, because we are recovering a landmark of the history of the country. This is a mark
Now imagine testing bone samples from centuries ago, investigating, researching to put every stone back in its place, and so on. Of course, it will not be easy, but it will be done. The whole world will witness the historical heritage of the Karabakh Canadian, the Khan's family, which the enemy tried so hard to erase.
The first meeting of the spring session of the Defense, Security and Anti-Corruption Parliamentary Committee took place. The committee's report and draft work plans for the spring session is included to the agenda. Amendments in the laws on martial law and military service and on media were also discussed at the meeting.
Azərbaycan Silahlı Qüvvələri deyəndə bura müxtəlif qoşun növləri aiddir.
When they say armed forces, they mean different types of troops: army, border, state, security services, intelligence, Ministry of Emergency Situations, and others. What are we talking about here? If the relevant executive power collects, discharge, and transfer to the service military personnel, then the process accordingly applies to various types of troops. So there must be a balance.
The South Caucasus region, the Middle East, geopolitics and cooperation. This is a topic that was discussed at the event held at the Center for Analysis of International Relations with the participation of a delegation from Saudi Arabia. Chairman of the board of the center, Ferit Shafiev, focused on the geopolitical processes taking place in the region and our country, emphasizing that Azerbaijan attaches great importance to cooperation with the countries of the region, our initiatives to implement a number of economic projects. Saudi Arabia's support for our country's Azerbaijani-Armenian relations was highly appreciated. You can get in touch with us by contacting AzTV hotline number 051 511 1956, through which you can report events you encountered as well as share your suggestions and remarks. You can also contact us via WhatsApp and Telegram accounts. That was all for today. Thanks for being with us. Goodbye.